Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. The government has unveiled a support army of its own today, backing its proposed development assessment panels following fierce backlash from council mayors. It's set to be one of the major issues raised in Parliament this week, including Labor's plans for a new Spirit of Tasmania Oversight Committee.
This empty block in Hobart CBD was earmarked to be a residential complex 4 years ago.
What should be today a place with 40 apartments for 40 households, for 40 families to live in, has instead been trapped in development limbo.
It's a scenario the government hopes to avoid with its proposed development assessment panels, and business leaders agree.
Far too many proposals have been lost in politics rather than a good outcome for community.
It'll introduce consistency and certainty around decision making with panels that have planning professionals on them. They understand the code and will be assessing against the planning code.
Look, we've been working with government throughout the consultation period to make sure this bill is technically sound.
It follows a wave of criticism from local mayors against the government in recent days, who fear the panels will shut Tasmanians out from development decisions in their area.
There are some local councillors who have their nose out of joint, but ultimately this is about backing in Tasmanians rather than putting the petty local politics ahead of jobs and housing.
While Labor also supports the idea of the panels in principle, the party doesn't agree with how the planning minister has handled it.
He's been attacking local government, trying to create fights. He's been sort of like the Donald Trump you order from Wish.
He needs to decide whether he's going to back in pro-jobs legislation, pro-housing legislation.
With the last 2 weeks of Parliament sitting for the year starting on Tuesday, the opposition is confident it can get the numbers to steer its oversight committee for the bungled Spirits of Tasmania project over the line.
They've proven time and time again that it's like drawing blood from a stone when it comes to getting information about these projects, and that's why we need parliamentary oversight for it.
The Public Accounts Committee is already looking into this.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
Man remains in custody following an altercation at Salamanca Lawns overnight. Police accuse him of stabbing a male person opposite Cargo Bar at around 1 a.m. The victim was taken to hospital. Officers say they're investigating the matter and are calling on anyone with information to come forward. Thousands of runners and walkers have conquered Kunyani Mount Wellington this morning for this year's Point to Pinnacle in Hobart. Pro and amateur athletes tackling the half marathon, taking on a steep climb, all for various causes.
There's no turning back now.
3, 2, 1.
Thousands of runners tackling what is tipped to be the world's toughest half marathon. Keen athletes streaming out of Sandy Bay to take on the gruelling 21.1 kilometre run up Kunyani Mount Wellington.
Let's go! Let's go!
Ideal conditions greeting runners from the start line at Rest Point Casino, but the Point to Pinnacle was still fearsome. Battling the steep climb and windy conditions, runners and walkers snaked up the mountain.
Hit 16k and then just this wind just hit us.
See the top of the mountain and just mentally you're like, all right, let's go, but it just keeps on going.
Keen athletes travelling far and wide for the Mammoth Challenge.
25 from international from around the world and there's about 1,100 from interstate.
Runners and walkers kept their spirits high along the way, from bagpipes to banging drums. James Hansen crossing the line first in 1 hour 25 minutes.
To get the win, home turf, it's super special.
Leo Peterson trailing not too far behind, getting the job done in 1 hour 26 minutes.
First time here, fantastic, good learning experience.
Millie Clark once again too strong in the women's division, succeeding in her quest for a three-peat.
It's really good. It was my 3rd time winning in a row, so I'm really happy with that.
Local musician Kelvin Smith also on a high note, crossing the line after a gruelling 21 hours of pushing his 240-kilogram piano from Hobart's waterfront to the summit.
Exhausted. Just a whole lot of emotion kind of welling up inside of me.
A great challenge for an even greater cause.
I think 157 charities that have been fundraised for, and our partner charities have raised a big chunk of money this year, so We will end up raising probably close to $1 million, which is unbelievable.
Pretty gruelling, but fun. It's an amazing effort and, great incentive to get to the top of this hill because it's for such a great cause.
Rebecca Gaidaneros at 7 Tasmania News.
It's Tasmania's equivalent of the Chelsea Flower Show. Longford Blooms attracts garden lovers from across the state who are looking to be inspired.
Paula Gordon-Smith has been inviting lovers of great gardens into her own for more than a decade. Every year, Longford Blooms grows a bigger and more appreciative audience, many hoping to draw inspiration for their own architectural landscapes.
They like to see what other people have done. They like to look at garden design to see maybe what would work in their garden.
12 of Longford's most beautiful private gardens on show this weekend. Admirers strolling through cottage and contemporary layouts. Bob Hadley opening his garden for the first time.
We've had the property 2.5 years. We've done a full reno on the house and everything else. We carted away about 60 odd truckloads of rubbish out from the property. The new part of the garden's only been there 11 months, so the trees are about 1,800 high when we put those in.
At Blenheim Gallery and Garden, the concept of outdoor rooms is brought to life by clever hedging. Leylandi cypress and the ubiquitous hawthorn providing shelter and privacy.
We trim both hedges twice a year, which is quite a mammoth effort given their size.
Sculptures not only making the garden a showpiece, but adding structure to the outdoor rooms.
It adds a lot of interest too, as far as especially in the off-season when there's not a lot of flowers or leaves on the tree, there's still something at the point of interest there.
All money raised from the weekend garden tours going to charity. Melinda Ogden, 7 Tasmania News.
Expectant and prospective parents have been allowed a glimpse into Calvary, Lenna Valley's hospital maternity unit. The hospital opening its doors today, giving visitors the chance to familiarise themselves with the facilities and meet with the midwives and obstetricians.
It's good for people to come and have a look around before they deliver. It's obviously pretty exciting and stressful time. It's not too scary, it's not too clinical.
What people need is a competent, caring, kind team of experienced people who know how to support you through this time.
It's the first time the unit has held an open day. The Tassie Tigers are in a commanding position in day 3 of their Sheffield Shield clash against Queensland. All-rounder Mitch Owen has been the pick of the bowlers, taking 3 wickets, claiming the scalps of Ben McDermott and Jimmy Pearson. But the Bulls are hanging on with a fighting chance, with opener Matt Renshaw bringing up a ton. A short time ago, Queensland were 7 for 274, chasing the Tigers' first innings total of 461.
Good evening. Hope you're having a great end to the weekend. Hobart reached 25 degrees today, Launceston 21, 19 today in Devonport and Burnie 20. The temperatures mostly above average. Grove 25, Friendly Beaches and Ooze 24, Flinders Island 23 along with 25 millimetres of rain today. St Helens and Smithton 21, Strawn 19 degrees and Low Head and King Island 17. The thick frontal band is now moving eastwards, replaced by a low-level cloud over the state. A trough has produced cloud to our west and southwest. The frontal cloud also affecting Victoria and southern New South Wales. Thunderstorms through northern WA into western Queensland with the cloud there. Tomorrow, a high builds over the bight, extending a ridge over central Australia. A cold front runs up the east coast of the nation. Early winds from the northwest up to 35 knots tomorrow, then a shift to the southwest to 30 knots before easing in the afternoon. Swells to 4 metres in western waters. Gale warning from Sandy Cape to St Helens Point, a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters, and we also have a warning to sheep graziers that continues for the Furneaux Islands and the east of the state. Monday in Hobart, a shower or two and 17, 16 for Dover and Ooze. Launceston, 19 with a shower clearing, partly cloudy in Devonport, Scottsdale a shower or two, and 17 degrees. 17 also for Burnie, showery for Strawn, 15 the top, 17 the high for Stanley with a shower or two clearing. 19 for St Helens, Swansea the same, and 17 the top for Ross with a shower clearing. Conditions improving on Tuesday though, light winds and partly cloudy skies across the state. Mainly fine and mostly sunny on Wednesday. Temperatures pushing up a little on Thursday as we expect a fine day with light winds. 33 for Perth tomorrow, partly cloudy, and 22 in Adelaide. A possible shower for Melbourne, a few showers in Sydney as well, partly cloudy, and 30 in Brisbane. And conditions quickly on the improve. It's sunny in Hobart and 14, 15 in Launceston, 14 now in Devonport. And Louise, I know your day went haywire today when you missed your Pilates lesson. Are you okay now? Everything all right?
No, I missed it, Murph, so I started off devastatingly. Hopefully I can go tomorrow. Thank you for that. That's all your news for now. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.